Hi folks, this is Karim Rao from IT Visualizer channel. Today we'll continue our lab, the Red Alert Lab. This is the video number 52. Have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have finished discussing the topic of securing Microsoft Edge based on the recommendations of the Department of Defense and the Defense Information System Agency of the United States. We have discussed this topic in 3 videos. Microsoft Edge is a browser that is developed by Microsoft. It is based on the Chromium project, which is the same project that the Chrome and Brave browsers are developed upon it. Okay, so they have the same functionality or the same code, programming code, and every browser of course have different or additional setting or additional options, maybe to differentiate each browser from the other, but they have common functions or common options in all of them. Okay, anyway, we have discussed how we can secure Microsoft Edge browser, and we have discussed a lot of recommendations to secure this browser. Today we will begin a new topic of securing Office 2016. Why I didn't discuss securing Office 365 and what is the difference between the normal Office package and the Office 365 package. Let's see a small description about it from the internet. And let me tell you guys why I prefer to install the normal Office package on the Office 365 package. Let's see first what is the difference, okay, between Office and Office 365. Okay, here let's see, this is the Windows Club. This is the one of the good sites that offer a lot of useful information for the IT. Microsoft packages and sells its Office productivity solutions in different ways. Let's see, I need to have something. MicroOffice or Microsoft's 365 is a subscription-based service. Where you opt for it, you can choose to pay for your subscription every month or buy a yearly plan altogether. In addition, you got extra online storage and cloud content features that you collaborate on files in real time. So Microsoft 365, it is not only include the normal Office package. So Microsoft 365, you will have your Office package, which is Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and the normal Office package, and additional features like OneDrive storage. You can store things for your users on an online or on cloud storage, and you will have other features, something like Microsoft Teaming, and a lot of features or a lot of programs that are online. And you can also, through Microsoft 365, subscribe to have an email address. Okay, so it's a combination of Office packages and online services. This is the Microsoft 365. Okay, and you can pay it by month or by year. Okay, as for the normal Microsoft Office package, or what we call Office standalone package, it's advertised as a standalone software product. You can make one-time payment and get to use the product as long as you want. For customers who are not willing to use the cloud service, so for example, if you do not need to have an online storage, or you do not need to have an email service, you have already an email service, or you have Exchange inside your environment, so you need only to get the Office. Okay, and this is one of the things that I prefer in the standalone package. The standalone package doesn't have any online services, which concerns to be or seems to be a security issue. Online services is something that will make your environment or your network face the internet, and it's dangerous things, something like hacking or something. So online services is a point where the hacker can get your network. So this is why I prefer to have an Office standalone in my environment, and to have a separate email service. For example, you can subscribe for Microsoft 365 as an email service, and you have a separate Office package, okay, or standalone package. This standalone package doesn't have the online services, which make it, from my point of view, more secure. Okay, so, and you will see that the recommendations of the Microsoft, the recommendations of securing Office 2016 and secure Office 365 for the Department of Defense and the Defense Information System Agency of the United States, you will see that Microsoft 365 has a lot of recommendations to secure more than the normal Office package. Okay, because it contains a lot of online features which should be secured very well. Anyway, so here, if you are not willing to use the cloud service, it appears like a safe bet. Once you buy it, you will done until you buy another version deal. Okay, so you buy it one time, you pay it for it one time, you not pay more, or you not pay on a monthly base or on a yearly base, and the subscription in the Microsoft 365 could increase after a moment. Okay, anyway, Microsoft 365 on the other hand gets update regularly and offers you the latest features. So one of the good points of Microsoft 365, for example, if you are using Excel through Microsoft 365, new functions are introduced in the Excel packed with the Microsoft 365 package, are introduced more than the Office Excel standalone. So for example, if you have an Office standalone Excel and you have a Microsoft 365 Excel package, okay, the Excel through the Microsoft 365 get new functions or introduced, or you get new functions through the Excel through Microsoft 365 than the Office, the normal Office Excel package. Okay, so this is one of the things, you get the latest features, and they say that the latest or the more stable or the latest stable Office standalone package is Microsoft 2019. Okay, and here is a comparison, small comparison. Here you pay a small fee for months, or you save by paying a full year. Bear a single one-time cost. Okay, you pay it once. Here you pay it by month, or you pay it by year. The latest version of Office packages like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, latest features, new tools, security updates, and fixed bugs. Okay, you get the latest updates for these products, added to it new tools, security updates, and bug fixes. Okay, PC users also get access and publisher. Okay, so you get the publisher program, I think, and the access as well. We'll keep getting the latest apps and updates. You can also install the mobile apps for free, so you can use the Excel and Word and PowerPoint through the mobile app, okay, using the Microsoft 365 subscription. As for this, depending on the Office editions, tools are included. Example, Office Home and Student only apps like Excel and Word and PowerPoint are available. So not all of the Microsoft products are included in some Office standalone editions, something like the Student editions or the Home Office Home edition. And PowerPoint are available. Security updates are included, but you would not get any new features, or you will not get any feature updates to your Microsoft products. For example, new functions to Excel will not be introduced, okay, unless you buy the next version of the standalone Office 2019. Okay, upgrades to major releases aren't included. Okay, here you can see that Microsoft subscription can be shared up to 5 devices, so you can use the Microsoft applications with one subscription up to 5 devices. So you can use smartphones, you can use tablets, you can use a lot of phones, one subscription for 5 devices. Okay, here it is only one purchase, and it can be only installed for one PC. Okay, once on either installed on once either PC or Mac. It can be only installed once. Okay, this is the thing. Stores your files securely, not only on your device but also on the cloud. Plus you can also get 1 terabyte of OneDrive cloud storage per user, or up to 6 users including yourself. So here he give you an online storage. Okay, so he give you the option to save online storage. This is one of the major security concerns that concern any IT. The OneDrive, one of the recommendations is to close or to disable OneDrive options when you are working with Microsoft products, especially the Office. If you, for example, let users through the Word or Excel save their documents to the OneDrive, this is one of the security concerns, okay, because cloud storage, even it's from Microsoft, it's not secure and it's facing the internet. Even if they are trying to secure it, still it is facing the internet and there is some probability it can get hacked. Okay, here no cloud support. This is one of the features that makes me a little bit want to use Office 2016. No cloud support, so it's not facing the internet, so it's more secure from my point of view, even though it has less features, okay, and doesn't have all of the features of Microsoft 365. Help with technical issues, subscription and billing support is available through the subscription. So you have technical issues, something with your email, something with your products, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, you can get technical support for this based on your subscription. As for this, it's only available during the installation. So if you have problems installing the Office standalone package, you will get support. But any problem concerning some Excel problems or some Word problems, they will not give you support, only during the installation. So this is one of the, or this is the most features or the differences between both. Okay, here is saying that you can use Microsoft 365 free if you have an account. Okay, some features, of course, not all of them. So there is an Office Online free version of Office that you can use in a web browser. So you can use Excel, Word, PowerPoint, which is the Office 365 version of Office through the web. All you need is to sign a Microsoft account with new or existing email address. So here is saying a conclusion: no, they are not the same. Although they may offer the same package of tools, you would not find the same facilities in Microsoft Office as you find it in Microsoft 365 package. Apart from the pricing, you see many differences. Okay, this one of the good questions. That Office 365 or Microsoft 365 include Microsoft Office? Yes, it's a package of some Microsoft apps like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. On the other hand, Microsoft package offers all those apps alongside with some others. Okay, so is Office 365 as good as Office? It's much better. He's saying it's much better in some cases. Okay, so Office 365 is better than Office. Let's assume that you want to get Word, Excel without worrying about any updates or paying monthly fees. In this situation, Microsoft Office is better than Microsoft 365. However, if you need all the updates, the newer versions of Office apps, OneDrive storage, there is no other substitution to Office 365. Okay, which version are you using? Then you choose if you need a monthly base with latest updates or a stable installation or a stable package with less updates. Okay, so this is one of the things. I prefer Office 2016 or 2019 because it is more secure from my point of view, because you can secure it, okay, with less recommendations. But as for Microsoft 365, you have a lot of recommendations to secure it because it has a lot of online features that need to be secure. For example, if we go now, let me show you. If we go and see the PDF, let's go there and see the PDF, or let me show you something here, guys. Here is one of the good tools that we will discuss later, how we can use it to audit or to view the Microsoft to view the Department of Defense and the Defense Information System Agency recommendations. This is a browser, or like something like a program we can use to browse the recommendations. Let me just for a moment here show you something. I need to delete this, remove. Okay, so here let's remove this one also. So we need, for example, to see the recommendations of Office. Let's go here and import STG. Okay, let's wait for a moment, and then I will go and get the zip file. So I have a folder. Let me go further here important cd images. Okay, and let's go to the folder that contains just a moment. Okay, let's go further. Here you go, and here is the, let's go to the folder. Where is the folder? Okay, here you go, this is one of the folders. Okay, and let's go to the recommendation of Office. For example, here we can, let me choose the Office recommendation. Here we can go Microsoft Office. So I think we can need to go, hey, here is the word Microsoft Office system. Okay, this is one, Microsoft Office system 365. Okay, or 216 version 1. Let's open it. Okay, if when I click on it, what happens here, we can see that these are the recommendations. We have about 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 recommendations for securing Microsoft Office 2016. Here we can see that we can see the recommendations here. Okay, you can put some notes later, or here is, this is more organized view of the recommendations of the Department of Defense. You can here browse it and work with it very smoothly. Okay, so let's see the recommendations of securing Microsoft Office 365. Let's see the differences here. If we go to Microsoft Office 365, let's continue. Where is Microsoft Office 365? I need to see here. So let's continue. Office 365, Microsoft Access, Excel, InfoPass, Office. So you can see 2019 Office 365. Let's see here, SharePoint. Okay, there is one, I think, for the Office. Let's see here if we can get the Office 365. Let me browse it quickly. Office. Okay, let's go Office, Apple. Okay, Office 365, Cisco. Okay, here Exchange and Google. Okay, these are all of the recommendations of the Department of Defense. McAfee. Okay, Office, this is the Office. Okay, Project, Sky, Business, Mozilla Access, Excel, Exchange, InfoPass, Office 365. This is the one. If we put it like this, okay, and let's see if we uncheck this one and check this one, let's see how much recommendations. Here we see a lot of recommendations. So to secure the Microsoft Office 365, there is a lot of recommendations. Okay, most of them, we see, for example, the first one, macros must be blocked from running in access files from the internet. Okay, so there is a lot of recommendations talking about the online services for the Microsoft 365 package. So we will use, or I use in my environment Office 2016 to work with the different Microsoft products. So let's work with securing Office 2016. As I said before, I prefer it because it doesn't contain a lot of online features, which is something you need to focus on how to secure it, because it faces the internet. So there is a lot of concerns to secure these. So let's begin, guys, now working with securing the Microsoft Office 2016 security technical guide. Let's begin with the help improve proofing tools features for Office must be configured. This setting controls whether the help improve proofing tools features send usage data to Microsoft. Okay, he's saying that help improving proofing tools features collects data about the use of proofing tools such as additions to custom dictionary and send this to Microsoft. So proofing tools are something like spelling check, like adding custom words to the dictionary. So it's basically for a correction or working with documents, especially the spelling checker, the the dictionary if you need to see the meaning of a word. Let's see here what is okay Microsoft proofing tools. Okay, so depending on your language, proofing tools can check spelling or grammar, hyphenate text, and look up words in the thesaurus. Okay, so here this is basically working with the word, or it's working with the documents. Okay, it is saying it allows people to edit Office documents in more than 50 languages. Okay, editing something like spelling check, grammar check, meaning. So this is the proofing tools. Here is saying that what we need to enable this option. We need to the help improve proofing tools feature for Office must be configured. So here is saying that custom words and some data are sent from this option to the Microsoft servers to help to improve this utility. For example, if you have custom dictionary words, it will be sent to Microsoft to add it to the dictionaries later, spelling checks and so on. So it collects data and send it to Microsoft. Okay, after 6 months the feature stops sending data to Microsoft and deletes the data collected from the user's computer. If you enable this policy, this feature is enabled if users choose to participate in customer experience improvement. So here, if your organization have some concerns about the privacy of the data, or for example if organization have use of external resources such as CIP, allowing the use of help improving proofing tools feature might cause them to violate these policies. So some organizational policies doesn't love or doesn't like data to be sent from any application to other third-party servers, even if they are for improving the product. Okay, this is some have some security issues. Okay, anyway, he's saying here that we need to configure or to enable this policy. Okay, and if you not configure it, it is equivalent to enabled. So for example, if you leave it not configured, it will be like if it is enabled. Okay, so we need to enable this feature, help improve proofing tools. So this is something good. He's saying that we need to enable this feature. So let's go and enable this kind of feature. Here we can see that if you go, it will be in the group policy of Office, something called tools, options, spelling check. So it's related to the spelling checks or the dictionary of the Office products. Okay, so we'll go and tell him. He's saying here to disable. So here you need to disable this feature because you are in a military environment, so he does not want any data to be sent to external servers not inside the network. So we will go and tell him, by the way, this is in a production environment. In a normal production environment where sensitive data or there is no sensitive data concerned, you can leave it opened. Anyway, he need to disable it. Here we can see that there is two group policies I have created, one for the Office 365 user, or policies related to the users, and policy related to the computers. This policy is related to the users, so we will configure it. We need to open it and configure to disable help improvement or help improve proofing tools. Okay, so we'll go to the users section or the user group policy and edit, and then we will open the user configuration section. Okay, and administrative templates. Okay, administrative templates. Okay, and then we need to choose Office 2016, and then tools. We'll go to tools and then options, spelling proofing data collection. So you will send your spelling check history maybe, or a spelling check of the words, and custom dictionary words I think you add to the dictionary. Anyway, proofing data collection, improve proofing tools. So this is an option to help to improve the option of proofing tools to Microsoft by sending data that can help them to improve this feature later. Okay, so here we tell him to disable this. It collects data and send it to Microsoft to help improve the proofing tools. Okay, then trust bar notification must be enforced. Here, if you are working with some Office documents, sometimes they contain features, okay, that is dangerous. For example, something like a macro. What is a macro? It is a macro, it is some scripts or something that add some functionality to the Office document. So for example, you can use macros with Excel or Word that will add some features to the Excel sheet or to the Word document. So some macros are not safe. So when you open an Excel sheet that contains a macro, the Office gives you a notification bar saying that this Excel sheet that contains the macro is not safe. So you need to enable the macro or the programming scripts on the Excel, or to disable it. So we need this bar always to appear for the user, to notify the user for any suspicious macros or something. Okay, so he is saying that this group policy you will control to notify the user when potentially unsafe features are detected, or whether you are silently disable, or what you will do, you will disable this notification and you will not let the user know that there is something suspicious. So here is saying that you notify the user for unsafe features or do not notify him. By the way, if you do not notify him, you can after that block the using of the unsafe document. So for example, you have an Excel sheet that contains a macro. The normal process, a bar will appear saying that it is unsafe and tell you to enable or disable this macro. If you intend not to have this notification appearing, he will open the document, no notification will appear, but he will not be able to use it, but because you can block it from use. So if you have a macro in the Excel sheet and the notification is not appearing, he will open it, but you are not able to use it. Okay, so here we prefer that the notification bar to appear for the user. Okay, so the message bar in Office 2016 is used to identify security issues such as unsigned macros or potentially unsafe add-ins. Okay, because the Office has some add-ins, something like the extensions in the browser. So when you install an extension to the browser, you add some new features to the browser. Okay, the same for add-ons, it adds some new functionality to the Office program. Anyway, the message bar informs the user about the nature of the security issue. So what is the problem? The macro is not safe, the add-on is not safe. So this is something to notify the user what is the problem and why he is blocking the macro or the add-on. In some cases, provide the user with an option to enable the potentially unsafe feature which could harm the user's computer. This is another, we need to disable this. If it is harmful, we not let the user choose to enable it or not, we disable it. Okay, if you enable this policy, Office applications do not display information in the message bar, so the message bar will not appear about potentially unsafe content that has been detected or has been automatically blocked. So the message bar will tell the user that there is an unsafe content. He can enable it or disable it, or we can configure a group policy to disable unsafe content. Okay, if you disable this feature, the message bar about the content that has automatically blocked, it will not appear. So if you disable this feature, no notification bars will appear. Okay, and the content will be blocked automatically and you will not be notified. Okay, so this is according what is written here. So we can see, for example, here that if you disable, let's see here, if you do not configure this group policy setting, if Office application detects a security issue, a message bar is displayed. However, this configuration can be modified by users in the Trust Center. So again, if you disable this policy, applications display information, or Office application display information in the message bar about content that has been automatically been blocked if you do not configure this setting. If you disable this policy, ماشي. okay, or okay, it's something related to appearing or disappearing of this notification. And even though if it's not safe, he can go to the trust center, something in the Office, and tell him that this document is trusted, or the location this document is a trusted one. So by doing this, he can open the macro safely. Okay, and we know later that we need to configure defined locations in the trust center that we as admins are sure it contains safe documents, and do not let the user to play in the trust center. We will do this later anyway. So here the documentation says, or we need to disable, or let's go, what is the how we will configure this group policy. Let's go under and see, or let's continue saying what he's doing. He disable all. Let's go, if we can go further a little bit here. So here we let him disable all trust bar notifications for security issues, set to disable. So here, if we disable it, what will be the case? If you disable it, if you disable this setting, Office application display information in the message bar about the content that has automatically been blocked. So you will disable it even though the notification will appear. If you enable it, it will appear, and I think will give you the option to change it or to enable it or not. Anyway, so we will disable all trust notifications for security issues. I think this is not something that appears to be unsafe on the topic. The message bar informs. So if you enable it, let's see what if you enable this, what do not display information. So if you enable this feature, it will not let you see the notification, or the trust notification, or the notification that there is something unsafe if you enable it. If you disable it, on the opposite, it will give you a message saying that there is a problem. Okay, so it's vice versa. If you disable this feature, every time you open an unsafe document, a message will appear saying it is unsafe and it is blocked. If you enable it, it will not give you a message and will let you open the document and without any problem. So we need to disable this feature. Okay, so let's see how we can disable it. Is the security setting and trust center, and then I think no, there is another, it is not there. Security setting, disable trust. Okay, here we will see disable trust, all trust bar notification for security issues. This is disabled. Okay, so this is one of the things we need to configure in Microsoft Office. Let's continue with the next recommendation. Let's continue. Okay, the write manage Office open XML file must be protected. So XML, it is a kind of file. Okay, he's saying here that when you use a feature in Microsoft called information right management, what is this, or what is the information right management? It is a feature you can install or in Windows Server that lets you control the Office documents. So for example, when I install information right management, through it I can define that some Word files, some users can read it and some other users can print it, and some other users can change the document. For example, I can let some users read but not print, and some users can print and not change the document. So this is what we call information right management. So we can use this service to secure our Office documents. And by the way, you can use, for example, information right management to encrypt Office documents. Okay, so this is the thing. He's saying that if you have an XML file, it must be protected. Right managed Office open XML files must be protected. If you have an XML file and you are securing it using the information right management service, so you have an XML file and you are securing it by using information right management, for example saying that the one that read the XML file is a certain user, the one that is another one can write in the file, another one can print the file, for example. It is saying if you enable this policy setting, first of all, this policy determines whether metadata is encrypted in Office XML file. So first we need to know what is a metadata, what is an XML file, okay? And these XML, so we need to, here is saying that we need to secure the metadata in the open XML file, okay, which is protected by information right management. Okay, so let's see first what is metadata. Okay, let's see what is metadata. And by the way, every file has something called a metadata. What is a metadata? Okay, metadata is defined as the data providing information about one or more aspects of the data. What we mean by metadata, it's providing one or more info about the data. For example, if you had a database, its metadata contains how much tables in this data, who have created this data, the time this data was created. Okay, all of these are called metadata. Okay, so let's see also another explanation. What is metadata and what does it refers to? So if we go to the metadata, if you have, okay, let's see here what it's saying about metadata. Metadata can be explained in a few ways. Data that provide information about other data. Metadata summarize the basic information about the data, making finding and working with particular instance of the data easier. Metadata can be created manually to be more accurate or automatically and contain more basic information. So let's see what is a metadata. We can, no, I need to have more more explanation about this one. What is exactly is metadata? That summarize basic information about data, making finding. No, this is not what we mean. So what is metadata for files? We have an XML file. Okay, great way about a file carried along with that file, it make it easier. So it is basically info about the file or about the data. So this metadata could be a great source of information for a hacker. If a hacker was able to read the metadata, he can know who is the owner of the file, when this file was created, what the data contains, some tables, how much rows, for example. So this, we need to secure this metadata. Any file have a metadata, so we need to, this policy says we need to encrypt this metadata in our Office documents, especially the XML files. So what is an XML file? First, what you need to see here, what is Office Open XML file document. Let's see what is this one. Is a zipped XML base file format developed by Microsoft for representing spreadsheets, charts, presentations, and word processing documents. Okay, so this is basically what it is. It is a set of file formats that can be used to present or represent electronic Office documents. Okay, Open XML files are some formats that can use to present electronic Office documents. Okay, there are formats for word processing documents, spreadsheets, and presentations, as well as specific formats for materials such as mathematical information, graphics, biography. So it is a set of formats that are used in Office documents. Okay, something like spreadsheets, like charts, like so. So here is saying our recommendations say that the let's go further here. He's saying that our metadata in our XML file should be encrypted, especially if this file is protected by information right management, okay, service. So he's saying that any XML file that has a metadata and this file is protected by the information right management, the metadata of this Open XML file should be encrypted. If you enable this policy, setting Excel, PowerPoint, and Word encrypted metadata stored in right management Office Open XML files and override any configuration changes on users' computers. So here is saying that these formats, or this Open XML formats, by the way guys, this is Open XML files. These are options, or it is a kind of files to be added to Excel, PowerPoint, or Word to add more functionality, to represent something to the Word or Excel or PowerPoint. Anyway, you need to know that an Open XML file should be, its metadata should be encrypted, and it should be protected by information right management. So we need to, he's saying here, to enable, if you enable this policy, Excel, PowerPoint, and Word encrypt metadata stored in right managed Open XML files. So Open XML files is used in conjunction or in cooperation with these Microsoft products. Okay, so it's saying that the data provided by the Excel, PowerPoint, and Word, this data, which is the metadata, will be stored in Open XML files. It should be encrypted. If you disable this feature, you will not encrypt metadata in Open XML files. So Open XML files is used in different Microsoft products, and this files contains metadata that contains sensitive data that should be encrypted. Okay, so we need to force to encrypt metadata in Open XML files. Okay, so this we need to do. We need to go and enforce encryption of metadata of Open XML files. Okay, so we'll go and tell him, yes, protect document metadata for right management Open or Office Open XML files. Okay, so this is the thing we need to secure. And then the next recommendation, documents metadata for password protected files must be protected. This setting provides whether metadata is encrypted when an Office Open XML file is password protected. So the previous recommendation says that the XML file, it is not protected with a password. You can open it, okay, normally, but we need to encrypt the metadata of this file. Okay, this is the thing. This one says that the Open XML file is right protected, or it is protected with a password. If you need to open the file, you need to provide a password. Okay, so it's saying here that this recommendation say whether metadata is encrypted when an Office Open XML file is password protected. So you protect XML file in two situations. When it is without password, its metadata is encrypted, and the other one, when it has a password on it, also its metadata is encrypted. Okay, so metadata is encrypted in any way, if an XML file is password protected or not. Okay, this is the thing. So he's saying that this policy determines whether metadata is encrypted when an Office Open XML file is password protected. If you enable this feature, Excel 2016, PowerPoint, Word encrypt metadata stored in password protected Office Open XML files, and override any configuration changes on user's computer. Let me see first. I need to have more explanation about what is Office Open XML file. What is Open XML used for? Let's see this one. Is zipped XML for presenting? No, this is not a thing that we need. Understanding Open XML formats. Okay, let's see how we can understand this section for working with XML files. Let's see introduction about Open XML files. Let's go and see the introduction. Introduction is saying that, okay, let's see what is Open XML file. Okay, is a feature. Suppose you have a Microsoft Word document that employs a feature introduced in Office 2013. So let's consider this example. You have a Word 2013 document that employs a feature introduced in Office 2013. When you open that document in Word 10 or 2010, an earlier version, what should happen? Ideally, you want a document to remain interpretable with Word 2010, even though Word 2010 will not understand the new feature. Okay, so there's a document produced or created in newer versions of Office. You need to open it on older versions of Office. Okay, consider also what should happen if you open the document in hypothetical later version of Office, newer versions. Here too, you want the document to work as expected. That is, you want the later version of Office to understand and support a feature employed in document produced by Word 2013. So he's saying that OpenXML anticipates these scenarios. The OpenXML file format specifications describes facilities for achieving the above desired outcomes. Okay, OpenXML supports markup compatibility in a way that makes it easy for you to achieve the above desired outcomes and Office 2013 without having to necessarily become an expert in specification details. Okay, he's saying that defines formats for word processing, spreadsheets, and documents, namely also and so with respect to OpenXML formats, markup compatibility is the ability for a document expressed in one of the above markup language to facilitate encryptability between applications or versions of an application with different feature sets. So it's some formats that will enable you to work with different Microsoft documents on different versions of Microsoft products, as the example says. So he defines word processing, spreadsheets, presentation documents in a form of specific markup languages, namely word processing ML, spreadsheet ML, and presentation ML. With respect to the open file formats, markup compatibility is the ability for a document expressed in one of the above markup language to facilitate importability between applications. So this is it. OpenXML seems to be a kind of option to enable different documents to work on different Office versions. Okay, here is what is saying, it's what is all about. Okay, so this appears to be more or it's more clear for me now. Let's take one or two recommendations and then stop. So we go to document metadata for password protected files must be protected. He is saying, just a moment guys, here we can see that if you get a little bit further here, what the metadata is about. For example, it contains document author, hyperlink references could be exposed to unauthorized people. I think this is the metadata. So let's go and configure this group policy to enable encryption of metadata for password protected open XML files. Okay, so I think here I am saying what is metadata. I have seen this, I have already told you about it. So let's go and configure this group policy. Here we go to protect metadata for password protected files. We tell him to enable, apply and OK, and then we will take one or two recommendations. Okay, so here the encryption type for password protected open XML files must be set. So here you are defining the type of encryption for password protected open XML files. We need to choose a certain type of encryption, and there is a way that you can know what type of encryptions are installed on your machine. So you can go to the registry and see what are the available encryption methods or encryption keys that you can use on your machine. So we need to go and tell him to enforce a specific encryption type for password protected open XML, something it's called enhance cryptic provider. Okay, so this is that we will choose. First, how we can know or how we can know what type of encryptions are available on my machine, or what can my machine do, or what are the types of encryptions that I can use within my machine to encrypt files or folders or anything in my system, or something like this. So let's we go to this key and see what are the type of encryptions that are available on my machine. So let's see, go and open the run, then open run, and then click regedit to open my registry. Okay, and go and see how much encryption types I have, or the encryptions that I can use. So if you open provider, here we can see that I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 types of encryptions we can use. Okay, base cryptic provider, a lot of things. Actually, we will use, I think, this one. We will use this type of encryption to encrypt Office open XML files. Okay, so we need to use this kind of encryption to encrypt our metadata for our open Office XML file or Office open XML file. You will enable Microsoft Enhance RSA and AES cryptic provider. So we need to go to open XML files. Here we can see it is configured. We will type it, Microsoft Enhance RSA, so and so and so. So we will copy it from the documentation and paste it here in this field. Okay, so this is the thing. We will take another recommendation and then we will stop at it. But let's see what is the next one. The next one is saying that the encryption type for password protected Office 97 to Office 2003 must be set. So any document that was created on Office 97 to Office 2003, I mean here Office 2000 or Office 2003 or Office 2002, all of the documents created on these Office versions, okay, these documents, especially if they have password protected files, they should also be encrypted, or we should choose a certain type of encryption to it. Okay, so it's saying that any Office documents created on Office 97 through Office 2003 must be encrypted and must have a certain type of encryption. Okay, let's see what is this type of encryption that we need to choose. Also, Microsoft Enhance RSA and AES cryptic provider, AES 256. So let's go and do this, or let's go and configure this group policy. So here enabled, okay, and then the same applies here. Okay, so let me stop, or let me wait here. This is ActiveX control initialization. Let me stop at this minute. It is minute 11:52, and we will continue working with securing Office 2016. Hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.